the more comfortable we get being uncomfortable, the more successful we'll be. Because
Hmm.
it's just everything we want is on the other side of discomfort. Just because at this moment we're not doing those things, and if we're not doing those things, then by nature it just doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel natural yet. So
Hmm.
that's first and foremost. Second thing is, how can you incorporate more discomfort into your life? Because I truly do believe self imposed discomfort will actually bring you a lot of comfort and a lot of peace.
All right, Adam, I think today we are talking about one of your most favorite topics. Do you agree?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And I shared with you before we hit record the full extent of my venture into your favorite topic, my personal dance with it as a young adult. And I just want to say, and for everybody out there, I want you to know Adam wasn't the one who introduced me to discomfort. There was a gentleman in my life long ago who said to me over and over again, well, you just got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And he would deliver it just like that. And the good news is I try not to say it that way. But Adam, I think you have, obviously years of experience in your own personal delivery method. So why don't you share with us a little bit more?
Yeah, I like to say discomfort is our compass, right? Because if we do what we've always done, it's going to feel comfortable, it's going to feel natural. And if we do what we've always done, we're going to get the same results, the same outcome, right? Whereas if we do something different, it's going to feel uncomfortable by nature just because we're not used to it.
Hmm.
And that is the goal, because if we want to get different outcomes, different results, then we need to do things differently. So, hence,
Right.
discomfort is our compass. And it doesn't have to be this whole scary thing. It could just be as simple as the way you go to work. You go one way, tomorrow you go a different way. That's just going to feel uncomfortable. It's just something you're doing differently.
Right. I like to kind of twist that, and I encourage my clients to think of it as an uncertainty, right? Like we talk about the fullness skill all the time, and when I'm trying to explain where we want to end up after a meal, for instance, I'm like, you basically want to finish eating and ask yourself like, am I do I still need more food? Do I not need more food? I feel kind of light. I'm really not sure. Yes, uncertainty, right? And I think at the root of people feeling uncomfortable, it's uncertainty. Like we don't know what's around the corner. That feels uncomfortable. I don't know how I'm going to get to work if I don't go the way I always go. It's uncomfortable because I don't know, right? I'm uncertain. I had a client say to me the other day, I'm really encouraging her to face some old wiring of I wouldn't say it's like food moralization like we've talked about a lot, but there is definitely this idea that she should and should not be eating certain foods on a
Right.
regular basis. And I've encouraged her several times. She's now at the point where, okay, I want to explore this more. And she said to me, I don't know how to do this. And I said, great, we're doing it right. We're on the right path because if you knew, we'd just be repeating what you were always doing. So here we are. It's uncomfortable to say, I don't know.
Yeah. A quote.
So go ahead.
No, a quote I've been thinking about a lot lately, is that, and I wrote it down because I don't want to butcher it. Is it's ironic because as we age, we seek comfort. Yet the more we seek comfort, the faster we age. I'll say that again. It's
Mm,
ironic because as we age, we seek comfort. Yet the more we seek comfort, the faster we age. And I really believe
mm,
that just because I think as we all get older, we're trying to make our lives more comfortable. We're trying to make our kids' lives more comfortable. And I think the more we do that, though, we become, things get more feeling automatic and less, there's less spontaneity. There's just less discomfort, right? Because you're trying to make things more comfortable. And I think when we do that, though, we're just, we're aging faster. What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I think it's the nature of being human, right? Human beings for eons needed to use discomfort as a way to survive, right? Now we live in a day and age where there aren't lions hiding behind rocks waiting to pounce on us. We know where the food is. We don't have to chase it down or grow it ourselves. A lot of the previous discomforts of centuries before us don't exist, except the wiring is still there, right? We are programmed to make sure we experience comfort, seek out comfort. That ensures our survival. So you're absolutely right. It makes sense. And guess what? Comfort is readily available to us today. And that makes it doubly hard not to fall into that programming of being human.
Yeah, just the ability to order food and have it to your door, the ability to order groceries, the ability to order anything. Like everything is just becoming so comfortable. And I think when you fall into that trap, you lose something, you lose a part of you. And I think when people, say they don't feel as alive anymore, I think simple things like just doing things that are a little uncomfortable that you may have stopped doing can help.
So give us some examples, things that people stop doing that make them uncomfortable, that they could start doing again to feel more alive. Do you have some ideas?
Well, as I say that now, you don't have to go to the grocery store if you don't want to anymore, right?
You're right.
You can order your groceries and have them delivered. On the flip side, there is certainly pros to that because you don't have to be tempted. You can order from your computer. But I just think we have to be careful how often we're trading, living for comfort. And that's not such a bad thing if you're doing other things. I guess my point is, and I backtrack on what I said because I do think there is plenty of benefits to ordering your groceries. There has to be some discomfort in your life. There has to be.
Right.
And if there's not, that's when I think we really start to feel just like robots.
Yeah, I think maybe your greater point is we have the ability to outsource every discomfort in our lives, right? We are this brain, but we could definitely outsource any tasks that we need to accomplish in a day. With enough resources, you could do nothing. You could do nothing all day long.
Right.
Right. And some are beneficial. I totally agree with you on the grocery thing. I mean, I gave up in-store shopping for the most part. I mean, every once in a while they don't have what you need, so you got to get out of your car and go in the store.
Right.
But it also saves me 3 hours of time on the weekend, time that I can spend at home with my family. Hey, but somebody's got to make the shopping list. Somebody has to do the meal planning. But again, this can all be outsourced.
Totally.
Right.
And I talk about my wife all the time. I mean, growing up, I feel like, I have just so many memories of sitting in the car or sitting in a store, figuring out ways to entertain myself. And
yes.
I don't want to go to stores. I don't want to do that stuff either. And of course, my kids, because I don't want to do that, they don't have to suffer through that. But I worry it's like they don't ever have to do annoying things because I don't want to do those annoying things.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a really great point. Sorry.
No, go.
I'll let you finish.
Go.
I was just going to say, that's the other thing to think about. If we have kids, think about how our avoidance of discomfort, of uncertainty, totally eliminates their opportunity to experience discomfort.
Yes.
And what that is breeding into being human.
Yeah. I mean, I think the greatest gift we can give our children is, we want them, of course, to be safe and comfortable, but if there's only comfort, then of course we all know, they're going to have no way, no capability, no skills to deal with discomfort, which is inevitable. It's a part of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So
my husband, sorry. I just wanted to say something about upcoming generations. There's always Generation X, Y, Z, millennials, hoo-ha, this is what they do. This is how they feel. He said he heard something the other day that one of the upcoming generations is the honey badger generation. That they don't give what about anything.
Right.
But again, are we doing it to ourselves?
So, my big takeaway here is there's no doubt, and I think we all know this on some level, the more comfortable we get being uncomfortable, the more successful we'll be. Because it's just everything we want is on the other side of discomfort. just because at this moment we're not doing those things. And if we're not doing those things, then by nature, it just doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel natural yet. So
Hmm.
that's first and foremost. Second thing is, how can you incorporate more discomfort into your life? Because I truly do believe self imposed discomfort will actually bring you a lot of comfort and a lot of peace. Without
Okay.
some sort of friction, without some sort of discomfort each day, I think you start to lose yourself.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. So, okay, give us an example. Like, what are some self imposed discomforts you have?
So, number one is exercise.
Hmm.
I like to push myself physically. I find that when I'm out of my head and in my body and I'm pushing myself, whether it's feeling my muscles burning or pushing myself for a run, I enjoy that discomfort. It feels really good during it, but even afterward, I love how I feel.
Hmm.
So that's one example that's my must do every day, right? That's my non-negotiable. Uh,
Okay.
that's the way I get some sort of friction, some sort of resistance, some sort of discomfort in my day each and every day.
Okay.
Another thing
All
is,
right.
listen, there's a part of me, the short-term irrational part of me that would love to just eat ice cream and cookies all day, right? But that like wouldn't feel comfortable either because that's just like giving into that short-term irrational mind. I think there has to be that balance of living for today and living for tomorrow. And for me, I try when I'm tempted by food or whatnot and I know it's not worth it, I try to pick the food that in the moment feels uncomfortable because I know it's going to feel better. I know I'm going to feel more satiated and more satisfied. And I know I wouldn't be eating the other foods for the right reasons.
Hmm. So let me ask you this question. If we're thinking about like how to help somebody create that experience, like for a lot of us, I think exercise is such a great one because there are so many of us out there who get it, right? Either we were athletes or we are athletes or we're just really good at moving every day. We also get like that mindset of like think about how you're going to feel afterward, right? And push through that resistance and then there you've had that experience of discomfort. But like take, for instance, your suggestion to drive a different way to work, right? I know in college I had a professor suggest to me at one point, like, I have a degree in theater, brush your teeth with the other hand. All I could imagine was like, great, I'm gonna have to brush my teeth twice
Right.
because what's this hand know that this one's been doing for years and years, right? So even though like that's not directly related to what we do, health and fitness, right? I think it's a really great way to sort of pull something that's kind of not emotionally attached to anything and be like, yeah, this feels weird. And then that's a great spot for your mind to kind of link in like, oh, right, it just feels weird. It's uncertain and unknown. And I suppose that's discomfort, but it's not bad. Like, what do you think about suggesting something like that?
I think that's great. I think getting comfortable being uncomfortable is the first step. You know, so we're having this conversation about comfort. People might be like, all right, well, how do I get comfortable being comfortable? How do I get comfortable being uncomfortable? And it's starting small, right?
Hmm.
Start maybe brushing your teeth with your other hand or putting on your other shoe first than you normally do or going a different way to work. But if you want to improve your, TFD, as I like to say, your tolerance for discomfort, when it comes to things that are help you reach your goals health and fitness wise, for exercise I would say start with what you want to do but start really small, right? So
Hmm.
if your goal is to start running, run for a minute and that's it, and just start small. If you want to try to eat better, make the decision once. You don't have to, this isn't forever, this isn't every day, this isn't never again. Start with one snack or one meal where you might want to eat this, or there's a part of you that thinks you want this but you choose something else. Sit with that
Yeah.
discomfort, right? It's not every single meal for the day, it's not every single snack, but train yourself.
Right. And to be clear, I think for a lot of us, there's a lot of discomfort in even saying, like, why would I even bother running for just 1 minute?
Yes.
right? Like embracing that tiny first step is super uncomfortable. Like, how in the world am I going to get where I want to go if I only run for 1 minute? I should be doing an hour, that kind of thing. I should eat salad all day.
Well, that's
So
right.
I think that commitment, right? Even that, you're setting yourself up for uncertainty and discomfort.
Right. Embracing that uncomfortable feeling. Because yes, there is this whole, it's this conversation we have between ourselves of, start really small, make it doable versus that's too small, it's not going to do anything. And then there's this middle ground of not doing it. Like you just don't do anything. Right. But the answer is always start less because you can always turn up the dial.
Yeah. If you roll your eyes at it, you've figured it out. Go.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And do it enough. And then turn up the dial.
Yeah. So back to your quote, right? Like, I think it's really wise for us to try to sustain awareness that we are going to be drawn, particularly as we age, towards slowing down and sitting down, right? And not just literally, but figuratively. That is the magnet that awaits us as we move through life. And so I think keeping your compass of discomfort front of mind, like aging doesn't have to mean breaking down. It can actually mean getting better, just like the finest of wine or cheese, and it's like, we don't have to succumb to being human.
Yeah. And it's, we all see videos and things of older people, running and being active. And like, we all want that for ourselves. Yet, as we're getting older, many people are, sitting down and not participating. And, I challenge you to participate, move, whatever it might be, choose the uncomfortable thing, because that's ultimately what you're going to want anyway, right? The more we kind of say yes in those instances, the better off we're going to be, right? And say no to comfort, because comfort ultimately never makes us feel the way we want to feel. Usually what we're doing is we're trading, a short-term relief. We're getting short-term relief and we're avoiding that discomfort. And then what happens is later on, there's a much greater discomfort. It's a deep discomfort.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. All right, Adam, anything else?
Embrace discomfort, seek it out, ask yourself, where is my discomfort each and every day? I truly do believe that one of the keys to happiness is an atmosphere of growth. And one of the keys to growth is embracing discomfort. And the more you can do that, the happier and more satisfied you will be.
Yeah, I love it. It's this idea of like team discomfort. So if you're out there listening or you happen to be watching, shoot Adam an email. Let him know, where was your discomfort today? Where's it going to be tomorrow? I'd love to hear what people come up with. I'd love it. I think it would be really inspiring and be something we could spread the word about. So you guys let us know. We're glad you tuned in, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah. And one last thing, by the way, sorry, I just thought of this. On the other side of discomfort, there's feeling powerful, there's feeling unstoppable, there's feeling amazing, right? We only get that going through the discomfort. When people say, I feel amazing, I feel so energized, that's always after doing something uncomfortable. You don't get that after doing something easy, of course, right? So keep that in mind. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.